Hey guys. So it is super late. It's 11:20 my time right now. Um, I wasn't planning on recording anything more today. I wasn't sure if I was going to do anything tomorrow either. Because as you can see, we are in a new location. I originally started out in a little corner of our living room, and my husband set up an office for me today. I'm hoping that will help with some of the sound issues that we've been having, and that I can get the lighting figured out and all of that stuff. And I literally had just laid down and my phone started going off, and my husband said, "Looks like you're going to work." And I said, "No, I'm not." And then I checked it and I saw that Rosie had gone live for the second time today. But this live was titled, "We Need to Discuss What Happened in My Last Live." So turned it on and realized this is probably something that we need to talk about, because this may be a historic moment for Gorl World. Um, I did not watch her first one all the way through. I kind of booped through and found the problematic parts. But I figured we would start with this one first and see how far we get. And we may just react to the previous live stream at another time. So we're going to go ahead and get over here to Miss Rosie. I do have her live chat pulled up. And we're going to see exactly what she needs to say about her previous live stream today.
Hey guys, I'm gonna give people a second to show up because this is an unannounced random live. I'm aware, and when I'm ready to start talking, I am planning to turning off my chat just until I'm done talking, not to hide from anything, but simply so I don't get derailed or distracted because I feel like there's a lot that I need to say, a lot that I need to talk about. You're fine, new name. You're totally fine. So if you missed the last live, I will try to briefly recap that. I'm just gonna give people a moment to come in. So there's a lot that needs to be said, and it's not. I'm not trying to chastise anyone or be upset with anyone, but there's a lot I need to say, and yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, I'm gonna turn off my chat just because I want to be able to talk without the distraction or like because with the ADHD of it all. I will turn the chat back on because I think that I want to have a conversation, but just since I'm doing this in a live format, I think that's the best way to go about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my chat. I will turn it back on. As I stated, one moment. Well, I don't know. So I'm putting it on none so it hides all chat messages. You guys, oh, I think the chat's still available. So you guys, I think, can still chat. But I'm not seeing the chat. So that's how I'm choosing to handle this for right now. I'll turn it back on and then we'll go from there. Mods, if people are getting out of control, nasty, I would just time them out because I'm not looking. So any of those decisions are up to my mods. So where do I want to start? So in case you missed my last live, it started off like fun, lighthearted, and then the topic of Amber came up because obviously there's been a lot happening on that side of the internet and in her life, and there's been comments that she has made that I just did not want to add to the dogpiling of, and I did not want to add to the discourse on, and I did not want to publicly, I don't even know what the word is, like I guess publicly like decimate for her for, and I wanted to be able to talk to her privately about these things and handle it that route. And I felt that I was handling it in a way where I was being more neutral and I was being more.
Okay. When you are seen as a public figure or people watch you the way that we watch her, um, a lot of times silence is seen as agreement or as acceptance. So it really is one of those things that you need to speak up when it is um, subjects like Amber has been touching on. And also, some of these subjects are not subjects that you can stay neutral on. Um, I don't know how you can stay neutral when somebody is bringing up topics like Amber has, especially in her, you know, 2 live streams before she said that she was taking a break from YouTube. Um, I understand like her desire to be neutral because she doesn't want to make Amber mad. I wouldn't want to make Amber mad because on a live stream somebody said, Quirky is going to turn on you at this certain time. And Amber looked in the camera and said, no, she won't. I have dirt on her. So I get it. But that is why you don't start friendships with people that you know for a fact have the past that Amber has. Now, do I think that they are legitimate friends? They may be. I'm not sure Amber honestly sees Rosie that way, but Rosie sees Amber that way. And but I also think some of it was for clout. She wanted to be seen as, hanging out with the popular girl. Um, and I think it's backfiring in a big way on her.
I guess just trying to be understanding that maybe she didn't intend it in the way that it was being taken, but regardless, the impact is the impact, right? I'm somebody that has always believed in the saying, like, intent does not equal impact. And because I intend for a lot of things. Like, I intend to, you know, do things in ways that are meant to not harm people, but you can still harm people. And um, I've decided that I need to distance myself from her and her content because I have a I have a mod here. I'm not going to name them. Some of you may know who I'm talking about, but I have a mod who has been a part of my community for a while, who did say I could talk about this, and who did say like I got their permission. I had a good long conversation with him. He is a trans man, and he's someone that I know knows me at least on a parasocial level, and who I know values me as a creator, as a person, and my community, and has been around for like a while. Like this is a long-standing person in my community. And my opinion, or excuse me, the opinion of my community matters to me a lot. It does. When I walked away from that last live, any time where long-standing subscribers turn on me, especially in multiple, like multiple people, not just like a one-off situation or one-off person, clearly I'm doing something wrong, and I have to sit in that uncomfortability and figure it out. So I think the live ended, I don't know, like 4 hours ago. So this is still pretty fresh, and I'm still processing, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But one of the things that was said to me in that conversation, because he was explaining to me how people were seeing this as like, and I may be paraphrasing here, so I apologize, but basically explaining to me how like the community was seeing me as like turning on my morals and these things. And so I asked him directly. I was like, as someone that knows me and is part of my community, and obviously you have a perspective that like these things are important. And this is why I'm having this conversation with you. And I made sure to thank him because he didn't have to have that conversation with me. He didn't have to give me the time of day. He didn't have to put that emotional labor into me. And he chose to do that anyway, just to help me understand. And that is something that I don't take for granted, and that is something that I really appreciate a lot. And I'm just really trying to hold back my emotions. I'm trying. I don't want to cry. So I also apologize for that. This is a very emotionally charged thing for me. I I I want to believe the best in people, and I want to believe that those things that are being said are not being said with malicious intent. But at the end of the day, I did not just come out right and say that I didn't agree with those comments when I didn't, that I didn't think they were okay, because they weren't. Because I was scared. I was scared of conflict. I was scared of what could happen, and that's on me. That is solely my responsibility and no one else's. That is not Amber's fault. That is not y'all's fault.
Okay. Wow. Um, First of all, if you are going to be somebody who stands on a platform like this with 51,000 subscribers and you're going to scream and shout about your points of view and your morals, then you need to continue screaming and shouting about it, even when it is uncomfortable. That is part of it. I tell my children, I've told them their entire lives, that standing up for what's right and being honest is the most important thing. And I have more respect for people who stick to their morals and they are honest when it will cost them everything, because it tells me that they are faithful to who they are as a person and what they believe in. but it also means that they are a trustworthy person. It means that they are somebody whose word means something at the end of the day. And I get it. We watch her cook and skid around her kitchen. But for somebody who shouts so much about morals and how she feels that the world should be ran, it's even more important for her to stick to that, even when it is uncomfortable. And she said, I was scared. We saw what happened when Shani came in her chat. She froze. Even knowing what Shani was and what Shani has done, or who Shani is and what Shani has done, she froze and did nothing about it. She made her mods do it. And then, people started asking her about the comments that Amber had made. And well, no, I talked to her privately, and, she did defend Amber. That's what was happening. However, guys, I think we are witnessing a historic moment in Girl World. I very much aim to be a fair reaction channel. I will call them out when they do things that are inappropriate or wrong, but I am glad to sit here and give them the ass pats they want when they do something great. And if we are getting ready to witness one of the girls actually for real take accountability for their actions, I'm going to cheer her on. I don't care what anybody else says, because this is something that needs to be seen. And honestly, if that's what she's getting ready to do, Foodie and Amber could learn from it in a big way.
Well, that's my fault, and I'm sorry for that. I wanted to be someone that could be like a positive influence and someone that would be able to provide information, provide context, call things out as I see them privately, and not make it into content, not make it into a tit for tat girl world bitch fight that some of you are bloodthirsty for. Bloodthirsty. I see it all over. I screenshotted a comment the other day of someone literally saying that Amber, so everyone should tell Amber that she looks just like me and we should be sisters because eventually she'll get jealous and she'll lash out at me. Some of y'all are fucking crazy. And that's the stuff that we bond over, that we are able to have a space to talk about, that people don't get. And that I am able to talk to her in a way that isn't just about the content or whatever. And that is, on my end, coming from a genuine place. Because I'm only going to speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for her at all. But I can't do that to my own detriment. And if I'm feeling cowardly and I'm not standing up for what I believe in and what I know to believe in, that's not okay. That's not who I am. I have been and always will be strongly against transphobia. And I should have, from the get-go, said that the comment itself was something I didn't agree with, that it wasn't okay, and all of those things, instead of trying to find ways to justify it. And I think it's in my best interest that I stop discussing these things in great detail and that I see myself out of her chat. And I think it's in the best interest of my community, and I think it's in the best interest of, I don't know why I said that. I don't know what else is in the best interest of, but
That's the thing, is that first of all, she is, I believe, fully taking accountability for this and sitting there and saying, this was my intention, but I see now where I was the problem and I am rectifying that. And, she says that I was being a coward. However, it takes some bravery to come back and face this many people, and admit that you were wrong and that you need to fix it. I think one of the things that people don't understand is, show me who your friends are and I'll show you the type of person that you are. Show me the content that you're supporting and it lets me know where you align. I work very hard no matter how badly I want to. When I am watching Rosie's content, I do not get in her chat and comment. I do not comment in Amber's. I don't comment in Foodie's, because I do not want anybody to see my name pop up in that live chat replay and think that I in any way am agreeing or condoning some of the stuff that they do. I only show up in chats or comment on videos of people that I support and I agree with, because I do not ever want my name tied to something that is inappropriate or that would reflect badly on me as a person. Because I put a lot of stock in my name and in my reputation, and I don't think that she understands that. Amber's the one everybody goes to watch. She has the most subscribers. And so I think that Rosie thought that if her name just kept popping up in Amber's chat, that it would drive more people to her. Um, and I'm sure that is the case. However, it also let everybody know that you are more than fine with the behavior that Amber puts on screen. And that's why you're in her chat and supporting her. That's why you bought a membership. That's why you don't miss a single live. And I think impulsive decisions are coming back to haunt Rosie right now. But she's handling it like an adult. And I honestly think this is Gorl World's first real moment of accountability. And honestly, I'm here for it. Sometimes I get tired of it always being nonsense and it always being ridiculousness and it always sitting here and saying, what in the world are you doing? Why are you doing this? I get it. This is a horrible situation, and I cannot even imagine how Rosie feels right now sitting there going through this. But oh my gosh, this is a breath of fresh air, honestly.
All I can do at this point is apologize for the missteps that I've made and say that, in the time that I've been talking to her privately, I feel like it's hard because I feel like anytime I try to talk about the positives, people just tell me I'm being manipulated. And at the end of the day, if I am or am not, I don't know what to say to that, honestly. Like, if I'm just bearing my soul here and being honest, I'm not sure. And, I'm never going to come on here regarding her or other friendships that I've had and disparage people, talk badly about them, or bring.
Here's the thing that she needs to realize and other people need to realize. I have known and associated with some of the scariest people. For a long time, I worked in a little itty bitty gas station in the center of a very rundown poor community. And I lived in that community, like I was a member of that community. Um, and we had a lot of um, customers who were affiliated and who were involved in some pretty crazy things. They were not nice people. However, let me tell you, they were my most respectful customers. They were the kindest ones. They were the first ones to help me with anything. And I think sometimes we forget that just because somebody does something horrible doesn't mean that they can't also be nice. I mean, I hate to compare it to this, but I think it's the best thing to compare it to. Um, Ted Bundy did horrible things. I mean, absolutely vile, horrible things. But everybody that you talk to that knew him or met him talks about how personable he was, how kind he was, that he tended to be a little soft spoken. He was very eloquent. He came across as the nicest man. People who are capable of vile and evil things are just as capable of being nice and caring. It just depends on which version of themselves they are presenting. And I honestly believe that Rosie is very naive when it comes to how relationships work and how people truly are, because I don't know that she's actually experienced a whole lot of the world.
Bring drama that happened outside of the internet onto the internet because I respect my friendships. I respect people that I choose to let into my life. I respect people that have spent a lot of time and love on me in a way that I will never go out of my way to harm them or be disrespectful towards them like that, because I've done that before and I've learned those lessons in the hardest ways possible. And I'm not interested in doing that again. So I feel that based on how everything happened, I owe you guys an apology. And I never meant, or I guess here we go with the word intent, I never intended to defend Amber, but I think especially in the beginning that's kind of what I was inadvertently doing. And I didn't want the conflict, and I didn't want to add to the discourse. And I guess I just didn't make the connection that like me being publicly in her chat and publicly involved with her meant that people would expect me to publicly like commentate on everything that happens. And I think that was ill-advised of me. I think that was naive of me. And I think that if I piss off people that have...
Guys, I am in shock. We are getting accountability. We are getting self-reflection. We are getting acknowledgement that maybe we are the problem. I What is happening with the internet? Amber said that Shani for Christ was right, and now we have one of the girls doing this. Our worlds are being turned upside down.
like invested a lot of time in me and care about me again on a parasocial level. That matters to me. And so when these types of moments happen, I am someone that's going to sit back and reflect and think, and sometimes it might take me longer than it even did today, but I cannot thank my mod enough for taking the time to sit with me and telling me what they think exactly and being able to have a conversation, and even at the end of it making me laugh. That was a funny joke. And just understanding that these missteps that I did make were not made maliciously. And I do have strong viewpoints on transphobia, fat phobia, all the phobias, all the isms, you know, like that's always been my stance. And I shouldn't let certain things sway me. That's not okay. I'm a grown adult and I'm responsible for that. And the only thing that I can do is hold myself accountable for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the chat back on. Hopefully things aren't insane. But I feel like I've talked enough. I've been talking for almost 15 minutes. So a little nervous. Let me see. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that.
I know I'm sitting here squinting, looking like a crazy person. But I don't have my lighting figured out yet, so no matter where I sit, I have a horrible, horrible glare on my glasses. That you guys can see. It doesn't bother me, but you guys can see it. So we're currently half blind. I just didn't want you guys thinking that I was sitting here looking crazy for no reason.
Okay. Okay, I read up to what I could. Let me get back to the current chat. So, yeah, I feel like at this point, this is not on subscriber only mode. I just realized that. Yeah. So, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what else to say from here. Um, I just wanted to apologize for how I handled. No, it's not for a hug box atmosphere. It's just because there's some insane stuff being said. Um, but I'm at this point. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else really for me to say. But I wanted to take the time to apologize, and yeah, what I have or haven't discussed or will or won't discuss in the future, I'm just keeping it off the internet because at this point it's just messy, and I feel like I needed to address what happened in the last live. I didn't want to just skirt around it. Maybe apologize to your mods. They didn't deserve to be treated like that. Genuinely asking, what did I do to my mods? I don't, Kristen. I'm haven't talked to her about it, so I'm going to handle that privately, and I'm going to decide what I want to do. So I'm not saying that we are. I don't know how she's going to respond to this, so I may have finished making the rice before I ended the live. So I just don't feel like continuing this is conducive. I wanted to apologize, and that's how I feel. I haven't decided fully about that, and I'm not discussing that. Thank you. I'm not airing out. I'm not airing out past relationships, and I thought that they felt the same way, so I'm not doing that. It's there's so much that I could and want to say, but I'm not going.
Okay, well, we're getting, I guess, half accountability, half follow through. Because part of taking accountability is then taking the actions you need to rectify the situation. And since she's saying, well, I don't know if I'm still going to be friends with her or not offline, I kind of feel like that's only half accountability, and that she's only doing enough to get people off of her back. Um, but still, this is more accountability than I've seen from Amber or Foodie.
Going to do that. I'm not going to drag them into this. I'm just not. So, um, I did just discuss it. I just apologized because, um, you know, I felt that it was important. No, Joanna. Thanks, Kaya. I understand, Jamie. So yeah, I'm not planning on like cooking or continuing to be live. I just want to give people a chance to talk. And I think distancing myself in general is wise. I just don't know how these things are going to play out, so I don't want to say anything definitively on like how that's going to happen. So, to my community, I'm sorry because clearly a lot of you are disappointed in me, and that's not at all what I want. How am I protecting her just because I don't want to disparage her? I don't get that. Thank you, Black Pantera. I just feel like
You don't have to disparage somebody to say that there's an issue. Like to come out and say, just so you guys know where I stand, what she said is so wrong. I do not agree with it, and because of it, I am cutting all ties with her because I do not want to be associated with that kind of speech or that kind of behavior. Nothing that I said in that was disparaging in any way. It was facts, it was truth, and there wasn't a whole lot of emotions driven into it. So nobody could say you were crashing out or, having an emotional reaction. There are ways to go about this that doesn't necessarily hurt anybody's feelings. It just is what it is. I think at the end of the day, I think she's honestly scared of Amber. Is what I think it comes down to. I could be wrong, but that's what I think it is.
I don't know. That's just not true, Cassia. I don't know how to say her name. That's just not true. I got your new name. When it comes to this type of stuff, it takes me time to think and reflect and process. And since this only happened a few hours ago, this is where I've landed. And I'm not saying that that won't change in the future. So I just, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I addressed this, because when I come back, I think distancing myself is for the best. And that's really, thank you, Courtney. So you're fairly new to a lot of us. It's good to see who you truly are and where your morals stand. I think it's good to distance yourself from what doesn't align with you and your channel. Yeah. This has just been a lot. Amethyst, I mean, I guess technically the answer would be both, right? I mean, if I'm being honest, like, the answer's both. Like, yeah, I'm distancing myself on all facets. So, because it's just too much. And I don't understand what you mean by that, Nerve, because I'm starting to wonder if I don't really think there's a situation where whatever I do will please everybody. I don't think that's a reality. I just think that this is the way that I'm handling it from here on out. Thank you, Smashley. But if at the end of the day, it's like, because if I do or I don't cut her off, it's like, I just don't know why that needs to be the internet's business. And maybe it's because I initially made it everybody's business by being publicly friends with her. Sure, I mean, I could see that as an explanation. I really am just trying my best here.
Well, the issue is that you made it publicly known that you were friends with her. You have then defended her in chat. Well, in your live streams more than once. And got really irritated with anybody who disagreed with you in any way about what she had said and how you thought it should have come across. So there is that, but also staying friends with somebody that does the things that she does says that at the end of the day that you're okay with that kind of behavior and it is acceptable for you to be around people who behave that way. And that is a reflection on you. You cannot control what other people do, but you can control who you are around. That's where the issue is. Hopefully she will realize that eventually, but I'm not sure that'll happen.
Yeah. You know, Turtleish, the one I was talking to asked me that question. If Amber was a good friend, and I was like, she actually has been. Like, she asks me about my life. She asks me questions about, like, things that I talk about. She asks me how I'm doing, like, fairly often. Like, we have that reciprocal dynamic, which is kind of why I was like, like, wanting to give her a chance to, like, show me who she is, like, currently. That's why I felt like I was like, okay, like, that seems different from what other people say about her, right? And I don't know. That's part of why I was like, because I'm seeing one thing and then being told another elsewhere, you know. Okay. I feel like I said my apology and what I needed to say. I don't really know if there's anything more for me to add. Thank you, Rat. It's just like, yeah. I'm gonna sit back and think on it. Moving forward in my lives, I just need to distance myself and in that topic in general. I mean, she's gonna be gone from the internet for the next month anyway, and I just need to focus on me. So, thank you to everyone for listening to me, whether you agree with me or not. And I just hope that people see that I'm coming from a genuine place with this. I never said that, Piss Cat, and again, I'm not going into other friendships. So, people keep bringing up past friends that I have had, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of the falling out, and I'm not going to get into my side of things because it is not your guys' business. I have my reasons, and you guys don't have the information. So, what friendships I cut off or keep are up to me, and my prior friendships have nothing to do with the friendship that I developed with Amber. So, I don't know. This is a lot. So, I'm not here to play into the drama. I think it's best that I just go ahead and hop off because I don't feel like this is productive. I'll be back. Bye, guys.
Okay. Well, that was that full stream. We kind of almost got full accountability. I don't know. Uh, I personally feel like all ties need to be cut, but that's me. Um, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I do think this is the closest we've gotten to accountability in Girl World. Um, and honestly, it also took a lot of guts for her to sit there um, and just read chat and just let chat say what they needed to say. Um, honestly, overall, I'm kind of impressed at the moment. Maybe I'm just delirious and tired. I don't know. It is almost midnight right now. And I would still need to get this, you know, fixed up and uploaded and everything else. So I don't think we're going to do the problematic stream tonight. We may get to that tomorrow. Um, so let me know in the comments what you guys think about how she handled this. Um, and what you think she should do going forward. But before I get off of here to get this out to you fine, lovely people, I'm going to remind you that you need to be good and you need to behave yourselves. However, if you can't, at least make me proud and then post it online so we can talk about it later. Bye, guys.